you for joining us on Deep Dive today. It's a pleasure to have you on.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much.
Everyone calls you Korex fans, well wishers, people who follow um, your stories and your work on social media. But what is your real name? And tell us a bit about your background, your story, where you're coming from, and how much hurdles you've had to climb to get to where you are today.
Okay. My now I'm like thinking about my full name. My name is Akorede Ajayi Ogenetega. I'm from Washington State, although I don't really claim to be from Washington State because I don't know anything about Washington State. If I'm being honest, I've spent most of my life in Lagos, so I consider myself more of a Lagos person. But my dad is from Washington, my mom is Delta, so hence the Tega.
Yeah.
So that's my name. I consider myself a creative, not just an actor or a content creator, a creative in general. I've always had the eyes for creativity. I can remember being a kid, anything that has the word ART, arts in it, you've sold me already. So it's always been that for me. I always knew that I wanted to do something in the creative space. As a kid, I enjoyed mimicking people. I enjoyed making people laugh. Although I never thought of it like it was a skill or anything. It was just me being myself. I did a bunch of church dramas, and people tend to, oh, this guy is good, this guy is good. So, and I enjoyed cartoons. I used to draw. I still draw. Just that, of recent, I've not really had the chance because of work.
Yeah.
I do that, and I started acting. I started acting. That was going to school to study arts. I mean, I at a point in my life, like in secondary school, I contemplated, okay, let's go and do what would make money. And at that time, it was sciences. I mean, the cliche science or commercial. You understand, going to something like that to be comfortable. But I always knew that this wasn't for me. I tried sciences because I'm curious about what makes things tick. So I tried sciences, but my second week in physics class, I'm like, nah, this is not for
So
me.
you went on to study art in university.
Yes, I did.
And what was your experience like studying arts in university? Most of our universities in Nigeria usually emphasize on the theory
Yeah.
and less of the practical. But what was your experience like studying art in university, and how did that shape your skill and prepare you for the incredible work that you have gone on to do today?
Thank you very much. You say incredible work. I guess it does work. Thank you. Okay, studying arts in Nigeria. I feel that should be like someone's thesis. Studying arts in Nigeria. Going to study theater arts. I'm a theater arts graduate actually. So I've always wanted to do art, either maybe drawing or something. And I told my dad that I wanted to go to like art school, pure art school, not like a university, just an art school. He's like, no, you have to get a degree. I said, okay. And my parents have always been very supportive of my talent and everything. So, okay, go and do theater arts. I wanted to do majorly acting, but they said go and do theater arts. So I realized that, okay, theater wasn't just acting, it was everything, the whole shebang, acting, dancing, writing, singing. So I went to Redeemers University. And Redeemers University it's a funny school, if I'm being honest. It's a funny school because in this part of the world where you call yourself a creative or you want to express yourself, art is expression.
Yes.
And religious organizations don't really give that freedom for
To express
expression.
yourself.
You understand? So I find myself I found myself in a space where I'm a creative. I want to study art, but I'm not given the freedom to explore and express the way I would really want to. I still have to do it within the confines of a certain religious group.
Yeah, which is why I asked you what your experience was like in school, because I knew that you finished from Redeemers University, and I also wanted to ask you, was there some sort of conflict while you were on campus between, what you thought art should be
Yeah.
and what the environment um, the environment you found yourself and the people who created that environment? Was there a constant clash or conflict of your
Oh,
worldview of what art should be?
there was always a constant conflict and clash between the school and the theater,
Yeah.
because the school represents, oh, we are Christian and we are this, we are epitomes of what is moral and what's right. And before their eyes, when you talk about art, your art should be restricted to some certain things. You want to do art that expresses how you feel, and you want to reveal truth with your art. But the Christendom tells you that, or the school, let me not say Christendom, the school tells you that there's a limit to how you can express truth. If it is tagged as immoral, you can't express that side like that. So, for example, you want to show that, okay, this person's a prostitute, and you want people to get the message. But rather than calling her a prostitute or portraying her as a prostitute, let's say that in the dialogue and let's not show. You understand? And theater, rather than just, I mean, for acting, it's see.
Yeah, show and not
yes,
tell.
show not tell. People want to see and they want to connect. So we always had that thing, and also in the manner of when it comes to like dressing, I mean, creative people like to express themselves in their dressing.
Yeah.
So we had clashes where they're like, oh, you have to look corporate every time. You have to dress with your suit, your tie, your shoe, and we found that very, very hard.
It's interesting that you say this, and it brings me to the question I've always wanted to ask people in the creative space,
Yeah.
particularly people around religious institutions,
Mm-hmm.
because you would agree that the what you call filmmaking
Yeah.
and production
Yeah.
around religious circles, not just in Nigeria, in Africa, and possibly the world over,
Mm-hmm.
really has not been able to take off in the way that secular production has taken off. Would you argue that it's because of that restrictions, the inability to express characters for what they truly are?
Yes.
And I give you a typical example. I saw a few pastors on social media critique the new movie that just came out with Schoolgirl. What's this new movie that was produced by Mo Abadu's company?
Man of God.
No,
Sister.
Two Sisters.
Blood Sisters.
Blood Sisters.
Okay,
Blood
okay,
Sisters.
Blood Sisters.
Thank you. And people criticized. I saw a few pastors criticizing, the scenes, and they thought it was a bit too revealing. And the argument was, how do you show what had happened in the scene without projecting it? And do you think that is why religious productions have not really taken off, because there's too much restrictions on what they can show, and there's a lot of emphasis on telling rather than showing what characters truly portray?
In my own opinion, honestly, I'm for, if you want to tell truth, tell it as it is. Do not try and shroud or try and hide the truth, or say, okay, this is what I'm trying to say, but let's not say it like this. The medium, the filmmaking medium, like we've said earlier, it's a showing medium, okay? And if you want to show, let people see that, okay, this is the repercussion for this. This is the action that happens here. Now, the limit to which the exposures are revealed, or the limit to which we have all this revealed in film, is also subjected to the director's creative, his own creative style. I was having a conversation with a friend, and this person said, do you know that in the arts, nudity is a form of expression? And you're like, now you say this in a religious gathering, and they're like, that is unacceptable, that is so immoral. But if you think of it beyond, your own sexual preference, or you think of it beyond sex, you begin to appreciate the differences. You begin to appreciate what it is really, more than what you think, what you connote in your head that, okay, this is what I'm saying. This is a naked woman. A naked woman equals sex. That is what you see in your mind, but it's more than that. I saw this series, Game of Thrones is very, very popular. And there was this scene where What's her name again? The wicked one who was Joffrey's. But have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but quite a long time. I think I saw just
I can't
few
remember.
episodes. I only remember the dwarf.
Peter Dinklage was very,
and
the queen. Is this Cersei? I think it was Cersei Lannister. So the queen, she's been hated throughout the series. So there was one scene where she was made to walk naked on the street, and people call shame, 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 shame. And that scene, she was naked, she was walking, and from people, and I had conversation with people about it, and no one actually said that, oh no, all I was focused on was this woman's nudity. It was like, oh my god, what was she going through? Like her mind space, oh my god. It felt very touching. I felt very sad for her. So it showed that scene, it transcended beyond what we were seeing. We felt empathy towards what she was going through because they showed her pain like that. So back to your question, I feel like what the reason why most religious movies or spiritual movies miss the point is because they always try to paint the world as not as it is. The world is not black and white. There are different gray areas, but they want to portray that, oh, married people don't kiss. Who see it in circular movies, they can really relate to it. That, okay, I can see myself in this person. I can relate to what this action that this guy does. For example, someone is a junkie. He smokes weed and everything. Of course, in the movie, when you're shooting, it's not, they don't provide you weed, they don't provide you cocaine.
Yeah.
They use vitamins and other substitutes. Yeah. But they show it. They show you how those things happen. So when you can see it and you recognize someone who has done that before, or you've been someone who's done that before, you can see someone telling your story. There you can see, okay, this person's journey through your own experiences and the person's life. But when you try and hide this in dialogue that, oh, he's a drug addict, he uses cocaine.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point about the nudity, because I've always heard the argument about, certain actresses. I followed a particular actress who walked out of set, and she was angry because she said the director did not tell her that a part of her body will be revealed in a particular scene, and the director said, I'd shown you a script, and in that script, the queen or whatever was going to be seducing the king.
Yeah.
How do you think that she was going to be seducing a king in a complete attire? You had to show that you were seducing the king at night wearing something a bit revealing.
Yeah.
And then she was really angry, and she thought it was devaluing her. And I mean, I don't know if you've experienced that on set. Is it our cultural leaning, or is it so much of our religious upbringing that makes it look like when we translate or interpret certain scripts to reveal a part of our bodies, we're actually devaluing ourselves or going against our religious beliefs?
Now, this is very, very subjective. I feel every actor knows what works for them. So you shouldn't subject yourself to something you're not comfortable with. Acting 101 is, first of all, you have to be comfortable on set. If not, the camera would pick it. If you're nervous, if you're scared, or if you're uncomfortable, the camera will pick it. So you have to be comfortable on set. These are things that you should be able to discuss, have conversations like this with your director, and say, okay, how far are you willing to push me for this role? And the director asks you, how far are you willing to go as an actor for this? I also believe that the actor is a tool. You are a tool. When you're in a scene, in a project, you're there to serve. You're serving the story. And if the director says, okay, what I believe would serve this story is if this is revealed in this particular scene, because the director is the alpha and omega of the set, you as the actor, being the tool, should be able to work with the director. That is, if it falls within your own personal beliefs. So the room for discussion and dialogue is very, very important between the actor and the director. Now, for us in this part of the world, we really I want to be honest, okay? I want to be very, very honest on this podcast. I really feel we're very hypocritical.
Tell me about it.
We're very hypocritical. I mean, we feign or we pretend that we have high moral standing, and we always no, this is bad, we don't want to see our women naked and everything, we don't do that. But it's a matter of, the people tell you what is acceptable and what is not acceptable according to how your pocket size. That's one thing. Because some people who are making big bucks, they are making money, they can dress anyhow they want, and you can't tell them anything because, hey, you don't feed me, so your morals don't apply to me, because if you talk too much, I use my money to slap your face, and everybody would support me because I have the money. So when it comes to things like nudity, I really feel like in this part of the world, it's just you and your craft. It's just you and your craft. If your religious belief doesn't support that, then don't do it. Don't do it not because people say this or because society says this. It's for you. Beyond society, beyond what other people say, what do you say? What sits well with you?
I like the fact that you believe that an actor should have his or her own guiding light,
Of course,
basically,
of course,
in terms
of
of picking scripts. So let's talk about how you got into acting when you left school. I know that you tried to break into the movie industry, and for some reason you did not become a superstar in the movie industry as fast as you would like. And I'd like you to tell me about the challenges that you faced in breaking into that particular industry. Is it such that it's so highly competitive that it was difficult to break through, or the industry wasn't ready for the kind of craft or the kind of roles that you were willing or able to play at the particular time?
I'll start from the last one. I would say, first of all, the industry is not still ready for what I'm offering. They're warming up. I would say that what I have, and someone might say, oh, it's arrogant of me to say this, what I have is bigger than what Nigerian movie industry is actually doing right now. I would say one thing I did not understand when I started was strategy. I did not understand strategy. I was coming from a point of, I'm passionate about this. I love this. I can do this. Can't you see the passion in me? So I would go for auditions, back-to-back auditions, go. And it was a moment where, you know, that thing where your parents are like, oh my God, this boy, won't you go and do what everybody else is doing? I mean, get a 9 to 5. You get a job, you understand? So just do something to put food on your table. And I did not want to do something that would make me feel like I'm ignoring my essence, who I am as an actor. So I kept pushing, go for auditions here. Some you get callbacks, some you get callbacks actually. So they call you to set and you realize, okay, you're playing a very, very minor or a major role, or you're just an extra. I did all of that back then, and I would say I needed to do that to understand how the industry worked. I mean, you go on set, you are an extra. They keep you there. In Nigeria, they keep you there from morning till night. They don't feed you. At the end of the day, they pay you something very, very mega, and you're like, oh my God, what is this? But the excitement of, okay, I still get to be on this job is a job that you might not even see us. They may not even show your scene in it. You understand?
Yeah.
But one thing, I started doing a lot of reading, and I started trying to focus on me. Okay, building myself as a person, first of all, building my character. I started doing all of that, and I said, okay, let's reframe and let's change perspective. I started going for auditions now, not to get the role, but to meet people. I began to realize that life is a game of people, and not really a game of, okay, what you can do per se at first. Who do you know? Who knows you? So I started meeting people. I go to auditions, I meet people, we link up, we connect, we talk and everything. Bam. That's what I was using to get other jobs, not really big jobs per se, because it was really hard to break through to those at the top. It's still people on my level. We started doing all that. But like I said, strategy. Then social media came, boom, coronavirus hit, and it was like, okay, this was an opportunity.
Yeah, because I want to even talk to you about that particular pivot to social media, and to skit making basically, and how you made that pivot. Before we talk about that, I just wanted to ask you: is it the case that every actor or every creative at some point is confronted with that very difficult choice of picking a 9 to 5 job to survive, or pursuing your craft and your inner essence, like you call it. But when you're confronted with that choice, what is that thing that helps you make the decision to say, I would survive without the 9 to 5 job and pursue my craft and, burn the bridges behind me? How do you make that decision to ignore the 9 to 5 and pursue that dream of yours? What is that thing that you rely on, or most creatives rely on? Because it's a risky business.
Yes,
You could fall off the ladder and your life is gone at 45. You can't go back to pick up a 9 to 5 job. So how do you guide yourself in that very difficult moment when you have to choose between survival and pursuing your essence?
It's very risky. It is very risky, but I would say for me, I can't speak to, because everyone has different experiences and some people have it better, some people have it worse. I would say for me, I held on to hope, and I believed in what I had in me. I believed in what I had in me, and I was looking for more than money. Although I needed money so bad, and I still do need money. Okay, I don't want it to sound like I don't need money. I still need money, but I sought fulfillment, some certain fulfillment. I worked at a company. I worked as a receptionist. I also did like an office guy who runs errands and everything. And I tried to sit in and feel, okay, this might be a thing. I might work this 9 to 5 for a while, but it did not feel right to me. I tried it. Then I got the chance to intern at a production company, where I was a runner on set, and I was also a personal assistant to my boss, Jade Oshiberu. I love her so much. So I got to see how filmmaking was, but I wasn't still satisfied watching other actors do what I could do. But I knew that I was there to serve. So that period of, okay, whether you get a 9 to 5 job or you keep pushing, it's very, very, it's a risky business, like I said, but it's the hope and the faith in what you have that will keep pushing you, and it's like, okay.
Some people call it the curse of the creative.
Yes.
It just keeps pushing.
Yeah, but like I keep saying, I'll say this again, but I did not understand strategy. When I began to understand strategy, planning, and goal setting, I understood that, okay, much more than just wishful thinking. Okay, you want this to work, Abby. What steps are you taking to make it work?
Yeah.
Because if not, you still stay in that, I'm good at this, nobody is seeing me. How are you making your plans to be seen? Where are you? What environment are you making yourself available to? Who are you making yourself available to? Who are you serving under?
Yeah.
A lot of creatives, you want to be the star from the moment you are seen. It's never like that. And I had to realize that too. That in order for me to not go for a 9 to 5 and not just sit at home waiting for someone to say, oh, I think you're a good actor, I needed to be in a space where it was a creative space, but I could serve other creatives and I could make sure I was seen. I'm there, I'm not doing what I want to, I'm not acting, but I'm in the space.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
So COVID came, and there was this huge pivot. A number of actors who hadn't made it in the traditional movie industry were beginning to make name for themselves on social media, and there's this huge explosion. The Taumas, Mr. Macaronis, the Sabinus, they had this huge flood into social media, creating content and attracting eyeballs and attention into that space. Tell me how you made your way into that particular space of skit making and featuring on skits on social media, and how rewarding it has been for you over time.
How I started, I'll start with that. My friend, Mr. Macaroni, we've been friends since university. So we started this theater called the Macaroni Theater Troupe. So we used to go and do plays in schools, universities. So it's like, we study theater, let's not waste this certificate. But we realized that times are changing. We're passionate actors. We go for auditions, people don't see us. And then we see people like, when Craze Clown started, we see people who we didn't tag them as professional or trained actors, but they were getting the attention, they were getting the likes, they were getting the endorsements, they were getting everything. We're like, how? And if I'm being honest, you get to that point where you're envious or you're angry that why is life is so unfair. I'm here, I'm trained, I want to do these things, and I'm not getting movie roles. But people who are just doing short content on social media are just getting all the buzz and everything. So, out of that depression, my friend started macaroni. We first had something called Mr. Macaroni and Casali. I was Casali, he was Mr. Macaroni, and we started on YouTube, just trying to break out of our we are professional actors kind of thing. Was hard. So we tried to break out of that. We started it small. It didn't really fly. So we said, you know what? I was like, this is not really for me. I'm a professional actor. Give me a script. Let me study. Let me prepare for this role. I will kill it. That kind of thing. And he kept pushing. He's like, Korex. So let's do this thing. So once in a while we used to do it, but I wasn't that serious with it. So after he like blew up during the COVID time, then he called me. We had the discussion, and it's like, you know, you can do these things. Like you can, everything they are doing, there's really nothing that's different, and all you need to do is just you need to express yourself. You need to express yourself. So I said, okay, let me give it a try. It took me a while to accept the fact that I've been doing content because I've been doing some of these things in my house just for myself.
Yeah.
I've been doing these things before, but just to accept that name, that okay, content creator or skit maker, I don't really call myself a skit maker. I'm a creative. That's what I like to call myself. So to accept that, it was really hard for me. But understanding the game, understanding that okay, this was something that puts you out there, gets you to a place of value where you're valued by these people who make movies. Because let's be honest now, you see a lot of content creators in movies because people know that okay, these guys are beyond just your face, beyond just that you can act. If you can act, that's good for us. But also you have a fan base. You have some extra value that you bring to us. I understood that okay, this was a strategy to enter the movie industry. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. It's been fun. And when you say rewarding, I'll tell you that if I'm being honest, in Nigeria right now, especially like being a young creative or young growing actor, I've gotten more from doing content and collaborating with content creators than I've ever gotten from films before, if I'm being very, very honest. So rewarding, yes, because content creators make good legal money that someone else would say, okay, it's like blood money. And let me just give a bit of deets here. I mean, you're a content creator. A brand approaches you that I want you to do this ad for my brand. It's like, okay, you pay this certain amount for this. That's good. The content itself, you put it on your YouTube, you make money from YouTube. You put it on your Facebook, you make money from Facebook. So you're using one content to make three income sources. Then you're like, wow, this is way better than a 9 to 5. And I'm just doing what I love to do. But the thing is that it's a game of consistency. It's hectic. People just see things that, oh, you're a content creator, it must really be easy. No. Sometimes we're shooting back to back because we want to just stay consistent.
Yeah.
You want to stay consistent.
Yeah, but do you think that you're able as digital content creators now to disrupt the entire film industry? Do you envisage we get to a point? Because let's be honest, many of you make as much, if not even more money than people who take on traditional roles in the movie industry.
Yes.
So, do you think it gets to a point where you're going to completely disrupt the movie industry such that people just want to watch things for 5-10 minutes? And I tell you a little secret, I always watch your skits first thing in the morning when I'm in the toilet.
Thank you.
It's on my phone. I'm watching you, I'm watching Macaroni, I'm watching Sabinus. 5 minutes is quick, it's fast, I can get through with it. But do you think you're able to disrupt the entire movie industry through your digital production or your content creation in such a way that the dollars will start going into digital content creation and away from what we call traditional filmmaking?
I feel filmmaking has its own crowd, and I believe that film is film, whatever, regardless of whatever anybody does or everybody says, it's film. I mean, film is big. But in this day and age, with people's attention spans going shrinking.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Sorry. Content creation gives you something that is fast, something that is entertaining, and something that, if I dare say myself, that is distracting from your reality that is not really, sometimes not always palatable. Sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Water. Yeah. Thank you. So, content creation right now, people like now right now to watch a movie, you know that I'm giving 2 hours max to say I want to settle down and enjoy this movie and soak in whatever the movie has to offer me. But you're watching content, and you, depending on the person you're watching, you're expecting something already. It's like, okay, let me watch a macaroni, he would give me this feeling, or let me go and check a brain jotter if I feel like laughing like this, let me go and check out this person if I feel like feeling like this. So content creation gives you like variety in a very, very short time. So to disrupt the industry, I would say yes. I would say yes. Content creation would disrupt the industry. I mean, look at how, just with COVID, how a lot of video showing platforms like Netflix and Disney Plus, they took off. They took off because the traditional let's go to cinema to see movies, they didn't wasn't able, and people realized that it's easier to sit down in the comfort of your house or on your phone and watch a full movie on Netflix or Disney Plus or something like that. So content creation is giving you comfort at a very, very affordable price.
Interesting. Let me just quickly talk about the challenge that content creators like you face,
Okay.
which is the scrutiny that your art gets in the public domain. Sometimes, especially people like you who make funny skits, people criticize you sometimes for objectifying women,
Okay.
for projecting maybe lawyers in a bad light, for projecting maybe nurses in a bad light. How do you deal with those criticisms? And do you believe that um, art should not really fall under the scrutiny in terms of hurting people's feelings and emotions? People just have to get on the train with it's creative, it's art, and not get emotionally attached if their gender or their religion or their culture is being projected in a way that is funny in a skit or a production. What do you say to that?
I think first of all we need to ask ourselves, what is content? Right today, content is anything. Um, you see, sometimes I watch some people do some certain things, and to me, I'm like, this is wrong. This feels wrong. This is it's unnecessary. Are you just looking for clout? Are you just looking for attention? It doesn't to me it doesn't make sense. Some people's content, but you check it, you see it gets views, it gets comments, it gets engagements, and that's the game right now. It's a game of views, comments, engagements. Oh, brands want this for their products. So whatever it is you want to do, you do it for that. I'm not of the school of thought that anything goes. I am not of that school of thought. I'm of the school of thought that your content should entertain, first of all. It should entertain, but also it should not make light of people's realities. It should not make light of what people are going through. There are some things that are very sensitive, and being a content creator, you have to be smart. You have to be smart. You have to be emotionally aware of the social climate, things like that. I mean, you can't see, okay, you can't see that, okay, there's a war happening in this country and you are trying to create content to mock it. If your content cannot do something good for it, then don't do content about it. I'm really of that school of thought. I'm not here to tell anyone how to do their content. Everyone is art. Art. That's one thing about art. People have different ways to express themselves, and you can't really say this is right or this is wrong. You can't really say that.
Yeah.
But you ask yourself, what do you feel this would do in the life of someone else? When it comes to things like objectifying women, it's a very very touchy subject for me because I like going head to head with feminists. I like having conversations like that with them to show them that, see, it's not a matter of man or woman, it's a matter of people. Okay, forget the genders, but that's that about that. When it comes to issues of objectifying women, or okay, you're saying you're trying to make it seem like, oh, making money, you have to use jazz to make money. A lot of people do that, slapstick, something for quick smash and grab, stuff like that. I feel like the most important thing is, what are you trying to say with it? What are you trying to say with it? Your content, okay, you're talking about a girl that has a big backside or a big this thing, fine. But what is the end result? Is it that, oh, that big backside put you in trouble? Or that big backside made you lose money? Or that big backside makes someone unhappy? Are you trying to send that message? Or you just want to venerate big backside? What are you trying to say with it? I'm really, really, really key on that. So when I see people criticize, and when people say, "Oh, your content is trying to do this to this, is trying to do that, this about this or that subject," it's always a question of, what's your own take from it?
Yeah, yeah. What does the future hold for you, Korex? What plans do you have to, you know, scale your craft, take it around the world? Because I know you did a lot of stage plays. Are you going to do a stage production sometime? Are you going to make a movie? What do you have lined up the next couple of years?
That question. When people say, what do you plan in the next 5 years? It's always a question of, I plan to just live every day. I take every day one step at a time. I have aspirations, definitely. I have dreams. But in life, where I am right now is not where I envision myself to be.
Yeah.
I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was. And I'm not where I thought I would be. Because where I'm at right now, I'm at a place where I'm grateful and I'm happy with what I am doing. So when you say, okay, what's next for me? To keep doing what I'm doing, to improve, to grow. Growth is something I'm really particular about. I'm not a producer. I don't see myself as someone who wants to make movies. I want to act. I want to tell people stories. And one way I feel I can really serve people's stories justice is by acting. I'm a chef. I cook. I want to do that. I want to upscale my business in that aspect. I'm a creative. I draw. I write for people. I act. I want to do all of these things. But most importantly, I'm not particular about, oh, I have achieved this, I've achieved that, I've achieved it. I want to be a better human being. I just want to be a better human being to people. I want to serve people. That is one thing I'm geared towards, and that's what I'm working towards.
I mean, there's no better way to draw the curtain of this wonderful conversation.
Thank you very much.
You just want to bless people and be a better human being.
Yes.
Korex, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
It was a great conversation with you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best in your future.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, this